So what's our 5 favourite free things to do in South Wales? Let's head off across Kenfig Nature Reserve towards the sea, and as I do so, I'll go through our list, myself and Mel's favourite free things to do in South Wales, in no particular order by the way. Just to clarify, all these places are free to get in, but some of them you may have to pay to park if you want to park close to the attraction, but not all. So before we start, I'm going to give you a bonus one, and it's this place, Kenfig Nature Reserve. It's not on my list of 5, but it's definitely worth a visit. Again, it's open, it's free, there's great walks, a couple of miles from here across to the beach. That's Kenfig Pool in the background. There's Kenfig Village and the old pub, the Prince. And then you've got Kenfig, the buried village of Kenfig, and you can see the top of Kenfig Castle. So definitely worth stopping off and exploring Kenfig Dunes or Kenfig Nature Reserve if you haven't been. Well, anyway, let's get on with the list proper then. Let's go. So I've stopped overlooking Kenfig Pool, and it's for number 1, visit a castle or 2. Yeah, Wales has a lot of castles, and there's some excellent examples in South Wales: Caerphilly, Cardiff, Pembroke. For those 3, you do have to pay, but there's many others near Porthcawl that are free. Ogmore Castle, Coity Castle, Iwenny Priory, then over towards Swans you've got Neath Abbey. All of these historic ruins are free to enter. And the best website, if you want to find out more information, is CADW, C-A-D-W. They're the agency in charge of many of the historic places in Wales. So have a look at that. It'll tell you when they're open and if you have to pay. So definitely, there's plenty of castles. And the good thing, like around the area I've mentioned before, Ogmore, you maybe get to see Coity, Ogmore, and Newcastle. They're all within a few miles of each other. You can do a few, and kids love them. They can play around them, and yeah, definitely visit a castle or 2. You can't come to Wales without visiting a castle. Don't know if you can hear that. Noisy goings on in Kenfig Pool. Anyway, for number 2, explore the Gower and some of the best beaches and bays in Wales. South Wales has got a really great coastline, from the dramatic cliffs of the Heritage Coast all the way across the sands of Porthcawl, then over the Swansea Bay and the beaches and bays of the Gower, and as you head further west. Our favourite place is the Gower because it's quite close to us, and the coastline there, they've got everything. You can walk in, some great surf, or if you just want to lounge around on the beach all day, there's something for everyone. And our favourite places on the Gower, well, there's 2 really. It's Three Cliffs Bay, that's a great place to walk to, and Worm's Head and Rossilly Bay. Rossilly Bay's got some of the best surf in the area, and then Worm's Head itself, I think it's one of the most picturesque spots in Wales. So definitely go to Three Cliffs Bay and Worm's Head. And by the way, it doesn't have to be a summer thing. We really enjoy visiting in the winter as well. There's nothing better when there's a storm raging and you're sitting in a warm pub and the wind and the rain is lashing down and you're there sitting by the fire. Definitely worth coming. Any time of the year. So for number 3 on our favourite free things to do in South Wales is to walk in waterfall country. When you've got mountains, valleys, plenty of rain, we are in Wales, you're going to get waterfalls. And the area at the top of the Neath Valley, where it borders the southern edge of Brecon Beacons, has plenty of waterfalls, hence the name Waterfall Country. And there's some great walks in the area connecting some of these waterfalls. Some are quite difficult, some are quite easy to walk, but it's definitely worth a visit. Well, one of the most popular walks in the area is the 4 Waterfalls Trail, and as the name suggests, it connects 4 waterfalls. But they are some of the best in the area, and one of them you can actually walk behind. So go prepared to get very wet. I nearly forgot. In Waterfall country, you can find the entrance to the Bat Cave. That's right, the entrance to the Bat Cave. Well, the location from the film The Dark Knight Rises. That was filmed at Henry Waterfalls. So if you're into your Batman, that one's worth putting on your list. Henry Waterfall, the Bat Cave. So I'm crossing Kenfig Nature Reserve and I'm starting to hear the roar of the surf. So I'm getting close to the sea. But anyway, number 4 on our 3 things to do in South Wales. And this place isn't that far away from where I am at the moment. And that's Margam Country Park. Despite being close to the steelworks and the M4, you feel like you're a million miles away in the heart of the countryside when you visit. It's a bit misty at the moment, but Margam Park is over there at the base of those hills. Well, Margam Park is rich in history. It contains ruins of a Cistercian monastery, a Gothic country house, and an 18th century orangery. You may have seen it on TV. It's been used in Doctor Who as a location in a number of episodes. There's plenty to do there. There's play areas for kids, walking's popular. You can walk up to the Glamorgan Ridgeway, mountain biking. You can actually ride your mountain bike over the mountain to the Avon Valley. Another thing, the castle. It's meant to be haunted. Ooh. Well, before somebody comments below to say Margam Park isn't free, it is. It's free to enter, but you do have to pay to park in their grounds. But if you come by bike or walk, you do not have to pay to enter the park. But if you're local, like me, you may know somewhere to park very close where you don't have to pay for their parking. But I'll keep that to myself. Right, onwards to the beach. It's not that far away, only a few more dunes to cross, and we'll be on Kenfig Sands. Let's go. I've made it to the beach in time for number 5 on our list, St Fagans, the National Museum of History. Well, the St Fagans National Museum of History, or just St Fagans as it's commonly referred to, you can find this museum just to the west of Cardiff. The museum focuses on Welsh culture and Welsh life over the centuries, but the best thing about it, they have over 40 buildings which has carefully been renovated and reconstructed in the grounds of St Fagans. And you could explore these and you really get a sense of how it was to live in those days. Like I said, normally you can walk around these historic buildings, but due to the current situation, this hasn't been possible. But it's worth checking out their website to find what the current rules are. St Fagans was voted the UK's Museum of the Year in 2019, and like most museums in the UK and in Wales, it is free to enter. But like Margam, if you're going to drive, you will have to pay for parking in their grounds. If you want more information about the places I've mentioned, have a look at the links in the description box below. And coming up next is our top 10 places on the South Wales coast, and I'll see you in that.